Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
We are back doing another patron-requested review. This one was one of the month's poll winner on the Patreon. So every month we run a poll. All of our patrons can vote on what movie is thrown in for our review for that month. And this month this month the winning picture was Demons from 1985 by Dario Argento. And so this is one of my favorites growing up, honestly. This Demon series and the Night of the Demon series are what solidified what horror movie demons kind of were back in the day, in the 80s when I was growing up. And this was one of my favorites because this is literally about a horror movie that, you know, indicates what happens, which is a bunch of people in the horror movie turning into demons.
Yeah.
And I love that. As a big moviegoer, I have a similar idea that has developed over the years that I know must have come, you know, the seed germinated when I first watched this movie. And I think it's so good in its, just its simpleness. You know, it's so good in its simplicity that I think it's one of the best and goriest, you know, Dario Argento movies out there. And so I really dig this movie. Upon the rewatch, which I literally just finished a few hours ago, I still enjoy it. It's definitely not deep as far as horror movies go, but it is a carnage candy horror movie, which, you know, I like that there are those out there. Not every single horror movie needs to have the deepest characters. As long as there's carnage candy to keep me interested in the meantime, I'm one of the people that's fine with that.
And then that too was like, this movie didn't need that.
No.
Like, because how it started out and everything, it was pretty cut and dry, and then you get right to where everything needed to be.
Everything starts happening about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, and it worked great. And then once everything started happening, it didn't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Had you seen this one before?
No, actually I hadn't.
Oh, really?
This
Okay.
was my first time, because when I saw it on the list, actually, I was thinking Demons. I'm like, all right, Night of the Demons.
Oh, you were thinking of the Angela series.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm thinking of those and everything. So when I look it up, I'm like, oh, this looks cool. All right, Dario Argento, I dig his stuff, Inferno, things like that, and whatnot.
Well, did he do the original Suspiria?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was also Argento. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's known for quite a bit.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, people know his daughter Asia and everything like that. Land
is
of
it
the Dead.
Asia or
Asia.
Asia? It's not Asia?
No, it's Asia.
Okay.
Asia
Interesting.
Argento.
I
Yep.
learned something today.
Yeah.
More you know. All right, so you enjoyed this one.
I
huh?
dug the hell out of this movie.
Nice.
Simply for between the gruesomeness of the effects and the kills, but also the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was crazy.
Like you got Accept in there with Fast as a Shark. Like there was other ones. But
White Wedding.
White Wedding, yeah. Billy Idol was in there, but like Accept was one that really stuck out. I love that band. If you haven't listened to Accept,
I haven't.
Look them up.
Okay.
They're awesome heavy metal.
Yeah, the amount of licensed material that was in this movie was frankly surprising. It's okay. So Dario Argento is obviously an Italian filmmaker, and it was an entirely Italian production, which meant.
Filmed in Berlin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of those actors were still American though.
I believe so.
Or it seemed like, I don't know, but the whole thing's dubbed.
Yeah,
the entire thing is dubbed.
Yeah, and it's badly dubbed.
Badly dubbed.
Yeah.
It's really tough to take at times.
Yeah.
The lips don't even bother trying to match.
And that's the thing.
At times.
Real quick, like I'm just gonna jump quick tidbit into like acting.
Yeah.
The dubbing actually inhibited some of the acting I felt. It made it feel really cheesy, and if I saw it in its original language and format, I think it would have been even better.
Right.
The dubbing did not help this, but if you look at it, a dubbing aside, this movie is A+.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Straight up.
I agree with you. Yeah, the dubbing makes it really hard, and I think a lot of people have the problem with dubbing that I have with black and white.
Really?
Like, black and white can be really, like, nowadays filmmakers are using black and white in super interesting ways to me, but yeah, like the fact that old movies just have that, and it's just They're shot
like
a certain
black and
way.
white.
I can't get into it for most times. You know, it's straightforward and honest. I keeping it 100, guys. I can't. What can I say? But I think a lot of people have that problem with dubbing, especially if it's poor dubbing.
Well, that's how
luckily, you and I can see around that to the rest of the movie that is just a phenomenal horror classic.
And that's how I feel like with like dubbing and subs for like anime and things like that. Most dubbed anime that I've already watched in Japanese is craptastic somersaults.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
I've never heard that term.
like it's atrocious.
So this movie,
But,
though,
yeah.
I gotta say that this movie was clearly an inspiration, or at least in part, of the beginning of Scream 2. Right? It has to be because everything breaking out at the theater.
Oh, that okay.
And even the girl, not in front of the screen, but behind the screen rather, and coming out.
That definitely, I can see Scream doing an homage to demons and everything.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That actually makes me like Scream 2 a little bit more.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But yeah, this movie is just so what the movie is about, segueing into the story proper, it's just at the beginning, a random selection of people are on the streets, and a random dude that looks like he's in a costume of some kind with like a Phantom of the Opera sort of metal
Chrome dome.
mask piece on his face is handing out movie screening tickets, and just to random travelers and things like that.
No title of it and everything. A secret premiere of a secret movie.
He's not saying anything.
Nope.
Just handing them out, and so all of these people converge, and they don't know what kind of movie it's going to be. And the main two girls that were kind of main two girls, they're like, oh, I hope it's not a horror movie, and all this stuff. So they get in, and we see all this assemblage of different patrons that are gathered, and one of them is this burly, badass black dude with two ladies. He's a pimp.
He's a pimp.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush, all right?
All right, fair enough. I was trying to be a little more...
He's a pimp. We all knew it.
Yeah, all right. Because he's got two ladies, two bitches.
And how he's talking to him, he's a pimp.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have this mask on display for the movie, and one of them puts it on, and it scratches her face. Yep. And so he's like, that's what you get for putting on something you weren't supposed to, don't put on a condom. But nonetheless, so they go inside, and everyone's assembled inside, and the movie starts, and it's obviously an old school horror movie where a group of kids are in these ruins, and they happen across this, I guess, coffin that's got a book in it, and the mask.
The same mask that this girl scratches her
Very
face
same
on.
mask, and one of the characters puts it on, and it scratches his cheek.
Yep.
And then hell starts to happen in the movie that they're watching, and then the girl that put it on realizes that, my cut is now bleeding again.
Yeah.
She excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and then we get basically the prototypical version of the scene that we got in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark with the spider.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So it's
But this was so
her
awesome.
cheek thing starts pulsating, and then it explodes in this green goo. Yeah, there's a lot of goo in this movie.
It's just like,
Lots of goo and wetness.
That scene when it just...
Yeah.
It's like...
And then, and so, that's all we see is this green goo, and she starts freaking out and, like, mashing it all over her face and stuff.
That's
and
what
then,
you do.
Yeah, because why not? And then her friend, the other lady of the night, as it were.
The lady of the night.
She goes to check on her, and when she sees her, luckily all the demons are willing to face away from everyone until they're called upon. But she's like, are you okay? And she turns around, and she has turned into a demon with long nails, sharp teeth, and red
She looks good.
eyes. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Awesome.
With dreads. I gotta be honest, the dreads made it
scary
effective.
looking.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually unnerving.
Yeah, like a human predator.
Yeah, right?
Or
I'm not gonna say it.
Predatrix? What would you call that? Female predator?
I don't know.
Is
We're
that
not
a
gonna...
Predatrix?
I don't know.
Nonetheless.
Drop that down in the
Yeah,
comments.
in the comments down below. But yeah, so she scratches the neck of her friend, and this is where we get the part that I was talking about with Scream, where the friend is like at the back of the movie screen trying to get out, and she basically scratches her way out just as she dies, and suddenly the rest of the patrons are like, wait, this is all real, what's going on? And they all realize that all hell breaks loose when the demons start attacking, because everyone that gets scratched turns into a demon and starts attacking. And so it becomes about this group of people inside the theater trying to survive. And then we also start to get a group of, criminals that are driving around outside the theater that eventually make their way into the theater trying to escape their own issues and get caught up in the mess. And it's just a demonic free-for-all inside the entirety of this theater building.
It's a big old hootenanny.
Yeah, and it's just carnage. Again, it's just people getting killed by demons, and it's who, if anyone, is going to survive by the end of this thing. And that's what the entire movie is.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, no one's really safe.
No.
No one's safe. That's hard to kind of find in certain movies.
Yeah.
Because especially even with, your main characters and everything like that, you're like, oh, they're going to survive. You're no problem. But sometimes they don't, and it's nice. I like that when it happens.
Expectations subverted.
Yeah.
It's
and
been a big
then
thing I've been
people
saying
survive
today.
that you don't expect to ever survive.
Right. Yeah. True.
It was kind of cool. And again, going real quick on for just makeup.
Yeah.
And everything. That was unsettling. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah,
especially with certain people. It was subtle enough with the makeup, but the lighting of what they did, especially with the eye flare, that was cool.
Yeah, everyone had these white eyes.
Yeah. We got that group walking.
Tripped on myself.
got that group walking up the stairway and everything like that with the pimp and whatnot, and
all their eyes are glowing white. Yeah, it was an effect, and effects wise, this movie was really, really good. All practical. I'm not sure what they did. I think they literally had white stuff in their eyes, like little lights. Because that's what it looked like, and otherwise it was the brightest white paint that you'd ever see. But nonetheless, that was just one part of the movie. The rest was their actual transformation. We got sometimes some close-ups of the demonic teeth pushing the regular teeth out and stuff like that. And
you got the flesh bubbling and
the
everything
flesh bubbling,
like that.
the veinage that would come up, the red eyes, and then you even got very werewolf-like, sharp nails pushing through the actual nails and fingers of people. And it was anyone that got scratched or bitten changed. So it's also the zombie sort of thing but it's a demonic thing changing, or transferring rather.
Yep.
So yeah, effects wise, I mean, the effects are what this movie hangs its hat on.
Exactly.
100%.
Yep. And then going back to real quick with the acting and everything like that, the dubbing definitely inhibited, at least for the version that we have now.
Yeah.
Because it's dubbed, you can't really see how they were actually acting.
Maybe I didn't do the research. Maybe that's my bad, but someone will tell us in the comments down below. This might be the way the movie was originally presented.
It's possible.
It might be the way it was originally presented, and if so. Eek. But nonetheless, it still
they got two other movies
still
out
stands
for
the test of time. Yeah, well, it's Demons 2, and then Demons 3 was called something else.
Ogre.
Yeah, it was called Ogre,
Yep.
right? Yeah. I actually don't have that in my collection. I don't know if I've ever seen Ogre, to be honest.
I haven't. I actually want to go through all of these.
Yeah, I want to watch Demons 2 now too. So maybe the poll actually.
Yeah, it was actually a poll. So.
Was it? So if you want to watch our review of Demons 2, request that if you're one of our patrons. But yeah. That I think is pretty much all we can say about this one without spoiling anything.
Yeah, because really the best way to talk about this would be a spoiler review.
Yeah,
and everything because there's a lot of great
who dies
moments
and how.
But there's a lot of great moments in there that you can't talk about without actually being a spoiler and everything.
What happens to the blind guy is so ironic. It's so bad.
So messed up.
So messed up.
So messed up.
At the same time, he
he
wasn't using them anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess I kind of tipped it there a little bit. But, this is a 30-year-old movie or more, 35-year-old movie.
And, even just, we'll just do a minor spoiler.
Minor spoilers, Not many people survive.
The best friend, when he's dying, no, leave me alone. No, wait, come here. No, leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, not only that, but then the one when the one old man falls over on the girl and is just gooping on her, and then it cuts to a shot of him and his lips have barely any goop around them. I'm like, oh, come on. But it's still really fun.
It is, and it's gross at the same time.
It is.
It's corny. It's that perfect.
It's as gross as the one that so many people like from nowadays, Drag Me to Hell. Where the old woman vomits exactly. It's similar to that.
That's gross.
It's a prototype of that.
Yeah, that's gross. Mm-hmm. I like that one. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's without going too much into it, that's basically where we have to cap that off.
Yeah. So, guys, if you
Watch
haven't
this
seen
movie.
Dario Argento's Demons, not Night of the Demons, but Demons from 1985, check it out. It is worth your time, especially if you're into carnage and
The
just
soundtrack?
craziness, just throats being ripped apart and just all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the soundtrack, for sure.
That soundtrack was
I
killer.
kept every new song. I was like, "Damn, they licensed this one too." I was like, maybe in Italy it was looser rules over there because they were just like throwing
Maybe.
anything in. But yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. So thank you again to the poll winner, to all of our patrons for voting on this one. It was a fun watch through. So if you guys want to become a patron, the link to that is in the description box down below. While you're down there, click the like button if you enjoyed this review and subscribe to make sure you don't miss other reviews like this going forward. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
And remember, stay scared.